If you want a big boost in sound for your 2021 and newer 3.5 liter EcoBoost F-150, you're in the right spot. Now before we get into it, I do want to mention that this system is not going to fit the Raptor and Tremor models. However, if you don't fit into that group, this Flowmaster Outlaw dual side and rear exit exhaust system with the black tips will be a solid choice if you're looking for a moderately priced exhaust that will offer both an aggressive look and sound for your truck. Now jumping right into the sound, as you heard from the clip, this is going to have a good amount of volume to the system, getting itself a 4 out of 5 on the loudness meter. So it's definitely going to be for the exhaust enthusiast who wants to hear a system but doesn't mind some of that sound creeping into the cab as well. Now choosing what exhaust is right for your build also comes down to the choice and configuration, and as I said, this is going to add some of that aggressive character into the look if you specifically want a dual black tipped choice, and this particular design is going to allow you some options with the placement of those tips and where they exit to allow you to customize your build. Now the Outlaw series is Flowmaster's loudest choice thanks to their small chambered Super 10 series performance muffler, which is second highest on their volume scale. Now the design adds the deepness of the tone to the system and incorporates a big increase in that exterior volume, turning some heads, and like I mentioned, it's going to be great if you like to hear your exhaust day to day. Now there will be some interior noise to the system with a little bit of drone, but that's what you get with a louder system, and the good thing is that it's not going to be distracting or overwhelming, especially if, again, you like to hear your exhaust. Now the system will also feature Flowmaster's DeltaFlow technology, helpful for noise cancellation for specific frequencies and being helpful for exhaust scavenging. Now exhaust doesn't usually account for a big performance increase, but the muffler and the rest of the construction is going to be responsible for an increase or an improvement in your exhaust flow. Now the majority of this exhaust system is made of a 16 gauge 409 stainless steel material, including all the mandrel bent piping here as well as the muffler, and the great thing about 409 stainless is that it generally holds up pretty well, especially in drier environments that don't see a lot of road salt or humidity. Now it will hold that middle of the road spot, offering a good balance between longevity and cost, so you can still ensure a long lifespan without completely breaking the bank. Now it's also going to have a large single to dual 3-inch configuration, and it is going to include an extension pipe for bed length varieties, as well as both side and rear exit configured piping. Now the tips on the back are probably going to be the most durable component out of this system, which is best case scenario considering that's the portion of this exhaust that you're going to see day to day. Now they're going to have a 4-inch double wall 304 stainless steel with a black ceramic coating on top. Now the stainless along with the coating will be very rust resistant. They're going to resist any high temps, and the coating is going to avoid any scuffs or scratching if it does come into contact with anything. Now the rest of the kit includes all of the hangers, clamps, all of the hardware, the isolators that you need in order to install this, so there's no welding or modification required. Everything is completely bolt-on. This system is about $1,100 and again will be one of the more moderately priced choices in the category. Now it won't be your most inexpensive choice considering that this has a lot of piping going on with it when it comes to this configuration, and it comes with options for the exits, but it's definitely going to save you some cash compared to other exhausts with a similar configuration that are made of a full 304 stainless. Now others may take a different approach to their system, a toned down volume level, polished tips over the black ones here, or even just a completely different appearance, but if you know that you're looking for a dual rear exit system that's not going to break the bank and offer some of the most volume possible for your 3.5, then this is going to be a solid option. Now install is going to be very simple. It's a 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter. Really the only difficult thing about this is putting all the pieces together, getting that old exhaust off and this new one bolted up. So probably going to take you about 2 hours or so to get the job completely done. Now one of our installers here is going to take over now and show you exactly how you can do this step by step on your F-150 at home. So that wraps it up for me. Let's go ahead and get into the install.
Tools required for this install include an impact gun, a ratchet, a 14mm wrench, a marker, an extension, a tape measure, safety glasses, 10, 14, and 15mm sockets, a saw, and a grinder. What's up guys? Today we're installing an exhaust on our F-150. First we're going to watch a quick uninstall video showing you how to remove your factory exhaust, and I'll meet you back here for the install.
So we've got the truck up in the air, and the first thing we're going to need to do is remove our factory setup. We're going to start with our 15 millimeter clamp here at our flex pipe. So we're going to grab our 15 mil socket on our impact and loosen this up. So we'll come up here and loosen this clamp. Next, we can unbolt the brackets for our 2 hanger isolators here on our frame rail. For that, we're going to use our 10 millimeter socket and extension on our ratchet. You want to hold on to this hardware when you remove it. Next, we're going to remove our hanger isolator for our muffler section. And the easiest way to do that is to use your 10 millimeter socket and extension on your impact and unbolt it. Now we do have a pole jack underneath our muffler to help support it. And once you have it unbolted, it does have a tab on the other side. Just have to lower this pole jack down a bit, get that out of its seat. Make sure that's free and clear. Now we can unbolt our rear hanger bracket section, again with our 10 mil socket and extension on our impact. There is also a bolt on the inside of the frame rail. You want to support your exhaust when you do this. Now we can come up to our 2-bolt flange and remove the 2 13 millimeter bolts holding that in place. Now we do have an extra set of hands at the rear of the exhaust because once we unbolt this, we'll bring this back and take it out of the truck. We've got our 13 millimeter socket and extension on our impact. We'll get these out. We're going to hold on to these bolts. And once we clear the cross member, we can bring the front of our exhaust down, get the tail over the axle.
Now the first thing we need to do is reinstall one of our rubber isolators up to the frame. We've got those 10 millimeter bolts that we pulled out in the uninstall that we're going to have to put back in with the 10 millimeter socket. So now I'm going to be reinstalling the one that's closest to the front of the truck. We don't need both here. So thread in your bolts and then grab your 10 millimeter sockets, tighten them down. So now we're going to install our front pipe. Now depending on the cab and bed configuration of your truck, you might be using an extension pipe, you might have to be making a cut to it. For ours, we have the Super Crew with the 6.5 foot bed, so we're just using our whole front pipe and no extension pipe. So now we're going to take our flange. We have one side that's flat, one side that's flared here. The flared side is going to go towards the front. So slide that onto your pipe. And then while we're at it, we're going to grab our hanger clamp. That's going to be going into the hanger that we just reinstalled. So slide that onto the edge of your pipe as well. And then you can raise this up into place. Slide your hanger into your isolator. And then line up the holes in your flange and start threading your factory bolts in. And now just rotate your pipe up and into place and take a 13 millimeter socket and tighten those bolts down. I'm going to go back and forth to evenly tighten down the flange. Now we can go back to the hanger clamp and take a 15 millimeter socket to tighten that down. So now for the Super Crew with the 6.5 foot bed, we are going to have to trim 6 inches off our extension pipe and use that. So I've got a tape measure and a marker. We're just going to mark 6 inches and then take this over to the saw. So now we're over at the saw. I got my mark lined up with my saw blade, got it nice and clamped down. So now we're just gonna go ahead and make our cut. Now we're gonna come over to our grinder and clean up the edges on the cut that we just made. Now I misspoke before, it's the Super Cab with the 6.5 foot bed that you don't use the extension pipe for. We have the Super Crew with the 6.5 foot bed, so we're using the extension pipe with 6 inches taken off. So now I'm gonna grab my clamp on the end and raise this up onto our front pipe. Now get your clamp in place and take a 15mm socket and tighten it down. Next we can install our muffler. So take another 3-inch clamp, put it over the inlet, and slide that onto your extension pipe. Now just get your muffler level and then slide your clamp into place and grab a 15mm socket, tighten it down. Next we can install our passenger side over axle pipe. So first get a clamp on your muffler outlet, and then we're going to take our over axle pipe. I'm going to get the rubber isolator from the rear of our factory exhaust and slide it onto our pipe, and then put it over the axle and slide it into the muffler outlet. Next we can grab those two 10mm bolts and thread those into the U-clips. Now once you have your bolts threaded in, take a 10mm socket and tighten them down. Now we can go back to our clamp and take our 15mm socket and tighten it down. Next we're going to get our driver side over axle pipe in place. So once again, take a clamp, slide it over the muffler outlet, and then we're going to grab our pipe. We're going to take the hanger that goes on the cross member and slide that on, and then go over the axle and into the muffler outlet. Next we got to raise our rubber isolator up into the cross member. The side with no hole is going into that square hole, and the side with the hole is getting a bolt through it into the U-clip. Now take your 10mm socket and tighten that down. Now you can take a 15mm socket and tighten down that clamp. Now before we install our driver side tailpipe, we're going to have to install this hanger. Now this is going to go on this big circle hole to the right of the triangle hole. We're right in front of the rear leaf spring mount on the driver's side here. Now we have this bolt and plate that we're going to put from the inside of the frame through this hole. This will go on top of it, and then we have a lock washer and a nut. So I'm going to go over the frame with this and slide it through that hole. Now just get a hand on there. Slide your hanger on. You want to make sure that the isolator's on here first because you don't have room with the spare tire to get it on once you bolt this down. Now get your lock washer on there and your nut. And once you've got that on, just center it up. We're going to take a 14mm socket and wrench to tighten this down. So get your wrench slid up in there and on the bolt. And then straighten this out and get a 14mm socket and tighten down the nut. Now with that hanger installed, we can install our driver side tailpipe. So grab a clamp and slip it over that flange. We're going to go into the isolator first because we're not going to have room once this is connected to our over axle pipe. So now just slide that into place, and then we can go back and tighten down our clamp. Now we can go back to our clamp, slide it into place, tighten it down with a 15mm socket. So now at this point you get the option of how you want your exhaust to look. We've got this S-shaped pipe that if you connect that up, that'll bring your tip straight out the back. Now if you want to go out the sides, you can use this 90-degree-ish bend. That'll go on here, and then your tip will come out the side. Now for demonstration purposes, we're going to be doing it out the back, so we're going to be using this pipe on both sides. So now we can take a 3-inch clamp and slide that over the edge here. Slide that onto our pipe. Now I find it easy if you slide the tip on That way you can see exactly where you want it to come out before you tighten that clamp. Slide that in, get it lined up to where you want it to sit, and then we'll go back with a 15mm socket and tighten that back clamp. And now we can straighten out our tip, get our logo nice and centered at the top, and then grab a 14mm socket and wrench and tighten down your tip. And then repeat that same process on the other side. So that'll wrap up this review and install of the Flowmaster Outlaw dual exhaust system with black tips, side or rear exit for your 2021 and newer 3.5 liter EcoBoost F-150, excluding Raptor and Tremor. Thank you for watching, and for all things F-150, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.